Good afternoon. So, I'll tell you what. I'm starting. I hear my dad's voice echoing in my mind, and I have been for probably a couple of weeks now. And I'm not kidding. I actually don't get me wrong. It's not like my dad's sitting in the room or anything like that. My dad's passed away, by the way. It's not like he's sitting in the room or nothing, but I keep hearing it's his voice, the same thing over and over. And it's every time that I look at what's going on, especially in this whole big red team, blue team divide. And when especially I look at blue team is when I hear it. And I hear my dad telling me, like the many, many millions of times that he's told me, son, you better quit while you're ahead. The other thing that I keep hearing him say is you better be careful of what you wish for. You just may get it. And it's really, I don't know the word, it's surreal. It really is. Now, before we get into that, I just there's one thing that I've got to say. Earlier today, I caught a live stream that was put out by the Daily Haze, which is operated by Miko, and Miko does absolutely incredible work. If you don't know about the Daily Haze, you really need to check it out. This guy is just absolutely incredible. I probably spent, I don't know, probably close to a good hour just laughing yesterday at one of his posts that he made on Facebook. And that's all you can do is laugh. The guy covers some of the most horrible stuff. And in order to counter that, so he don't go crazy, because this guy goes deep. This guy goes absolutely as deep as you can get into these situations to try to bring justice to light. And he's got I'm going to say it. He's got balls of steel. That's the only way I can say it. Just come right out and say it. So anyway, and I won't get into what it was I was laughing about. It's not really appropriate here. But so he outlets a lot of humor in order to keep a balance, because I'll tell you what, I know the stress that is involved in doing this, and what I do is nothing in comparison to what Miko does. Absolutely nothing. Anyway, I caught this live stream earlier, and they were discussing Dominique White. That is his name, Dominique White. And I believe it was December of last year. He was killed. So shot in the back 3 times. And, the story goes as it always goes. He had a gun in his pocket. We thought he had a gun. We were in fear for our life. Young man shot 3 times in the back. 4 children, now without a father, and a family without a son and a brother. And they made an announcement today that the family is going to file charges against the police department of Topeka, Kansas, and the city of Topeka, Kansas. But something struck me today. Again, another one of those voices in my head, kind of. It was more of a thought. And I want to thank God for pain. I absolutely want to thank God for pain. Because it is the pain that I feel in my heart. And when I hear about these things, I feel pain in my heart. Mine. I didn't know Dominique White. I did not know him. I do remember when it happened. I do remember reporting on it when it happened. But I don't personally know him. But in watching that, I could feel that pain. I felt absolute sorrow and remorse, and I felt pain. And I want to thank God for that, because it's that pain that keeps me doing this. It's that pain that lets me know that I'm not done yet. I'm just getting started. So I thank God for that pain. I also thank God for humor, because without that humor, I wouldn't be able to go on. And sometimes I can find a lot of humor in the corniest little things. Today, during that same live stream, was one of those times. There was a gentleman that stood up and spoke very well, by the way. But when he stood up to speak, and well, they were already standing, but you know what I mean. When he walked up to speak, he announced his name, and I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he said, I'm with Black Lives Matter. And the very next statement out of his mouth is, I would like to thank the white family. So to hear a guy step up to a microphone and say, hi, I'm so-and-so with Black Lives Matter, and I would like to thank the white family. I'm sorry, that was priceless. And I did take that moment to laugh and to lighten my heart a little bit. Of course, Dominique's last name was white. So, just, sometimes you got to grab the silliest, goofiest little things and hang on. It was a very sad moment. It really was. Because too often we see these cases to where, they had a gun, and then guess what? There's no gun. It's a shame. But anyway, I'm not going to stay on that. We've got a lot of other stuff to cover. And, wow, what about this shooting in Maryland? And we're going to get to that in a moment. We're going to get to that. Let me go ahead and run through the normal stuff, run through the headlines. There's plenty of headlines to go around today, believe me. This is a crazy news week. Absolutely crazy news week. So let me go ahead and get through this stuff, and we'll go from there. We're losing more subscribers. Okay, I'm over it. So, yep, we're down 3, I think, from yesterday. I think 2 or 3. I don't know. Let's see. 235. We're also going down in those massive amounts of pennies that we make from YouTube. So, however that works, whatever. Okay, Steemit. I don't think I put anything else in. I think I might have last night, actually. I might have redeemed one last night. I don't remember. This one will be redeemable in 5 hours here, and I don't remember on this one, 23 hours. So then this one's got 2 days left. This one's got 4 days left. The big 4 cents here has 5 days, and that's it. That's it. So we're slowly building that up. Go over to the wallet here. We got 5.588 Steam. And we've got 1.417 Steam dollars. So we be ballin' yo. Let's see. AdSense. Let me refresh the page as I always do, just in case there's some last minute clicks. 54 cents. So far we are at 54 cents for today. That brings us up to $16.40 for the month. Of course, that will be added to the balance on the first or second day of the new month. So what is that? What it is we have ads, Google AdSense ads on our website. So if you go and click a Google AdSense ad, what it will do is it puts a little bit of money into our Google AdSense. You don't have to buy nothing, sign up nothing, put in your email, nothing. All you have to do is click the ad, and it is much appreciated because that builds up money clearly a lot faster than YouTube. Okay, so I mean, it's just exponentially faster than what YouTube is. So, and right now they're advertising Burt's Bees products, so that's pretty cool. We got some Burt's Bees, however you want to pronounce it, anti-itch spray for dogs for our head of security here, because she had been itching her little butt off and chewing, and it's been pretty bad. So we got some of that stuff, and it seems we just got it today, and it seems to be really relieving it. So that's cool. I have no problem with them putting an ad on there. If you've got a dog that's itching a lot, so far, at least for us, this has been a pretty good remedy. We just got it today, maybe about 1 o'clock or so, but she is doing much, much better. So anyway, that is that. Let's go ahead and get through the news that I tweeted out, and there is plenty of it. Last night I tweeted, Trump threatens Harley Davidson if it moves overseas, they will be taxed like nothing or like never before. So I'm glad to hear him say that. I really am. Merkel says migration crisis make or break for EU ahead of bloc's summit. Chartered plane crashes in Mumbai, 5 people dead. U.S.-led coalition admits killing about 940 civilians in operations in Syria and Iraq. Putin says nearly 30 aircraft, 1,140 troops withdrawn from Syria over past days. Burrito Bob calls police on man eating burrito on Bay Area train. Yes, now we have a Burrito Bob. We have poolside patty or whatever it's called. There's 2 patties. Then there's Permit Patty, and then there's Barbecue Becky. So we've got plenty of people. And there's a couple pool ones, by the way, that I've seen over the last couple of days. Netflix under investigation for streaming disturbing child pornography scenes. Can you believe that? That is insane. Absolutely insane. And in fact, we'll go into that. I real quick want to make a reminder that Rogue Preparedness will be on at 6 p.m. So I should have said that earlier. I was trying not to forget about the things that, everything I wanted to fit in at the very, very top of the show. So my apologies. She will be on at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And real quick, we're gonna look into this, right? This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm not going to read the whole report. I can read the very, very first beginning of it, and it will be enough. An Argentinian movie that Netflix offers called Desire is upsetting subscribers because of what looks like illegal content. Viewers on Facebook have shared a clip of the movie and are calling it outright child porn. In the opening scene, 2 little girls who look to be about 7 and 9 are playing horse on pillows. The older girl begins to obviously masturbate as the younger child watches. The camera even takes this scene into a close-up of the child's face in slow motion, moving up and down and panting like a porn star. The scene is graphic and includes an orgasm. The film is directed by Diego Kaplan. This is crazy, folks. Crazy. And the only reason why I wanted to point this out in particular is because I want folks to help me pay attention to see what happens as a result. I'm going to make the call that nothing, nada, squat. In fact, I have my doubts if the show will even be taken off of Netflix. Because the agenda is to normalize pedophilia. That is the agenda. So we'll see. I'll tell you what, personally, I was uncomfortable when I watched the second season of 13 Reasons Why. And you guys know I don't watch a lot of television or anything like that, but I do like that show. I thought it was a pretty decent show. But there was a lot of sexual content, especially during the beginning episodes of the second season. And it made me feel uncomfortable. I don't like that. These aren't supposed to be children that are like, they're in high school. They're in high school. And I'm not saying that high school kids don't have sex. But we don't need to see high school kids having sex on TV. That's where I think the problem is. We don't need to be making that, even though we all know that's normalcy. We know that. We get that. Okay? But we don't need to be displaying that. We don't need to be promoting that. I don't think so. Maybe your opinion's different. I don't think so. I think, things are going to happen. Teenagers are going to do things, but it doesn't mean that we should promote it. Putin and Trump meeting set for July 16th in Helsinki, Kremlin confirms. Federal cops move in on ICE protest in southwest Portland. I watched a little bit of that live. I put out on Facebook. I put it out live when they were live, still performing the operation, and yeah, it is what it is, you know. And I'm all for protest, and you all know that. But I find it highly hypocritical and highly ironic that when the Bundys occupied a vacant wildlife refuge, it resulted in Lavoy Finicum being murdered, and the Bundys and others involved being put in jail for an extremely long amount of time awaiting trial. Okay? They didn't actually prevent federal workers from doing their job like they were accused of. Now, these protesters in Portland did. They did. They prevented workers from being able to do their jobs. But none of them were arrested for that. I find that highly, highly hypocritical. It's insane. Absolutely insane. CBS News interview with ICE whistleblower interrupted by surprise visit from government agents. How'd you like to be doing that? Doing an interview and all of a sudden, oh, here comes the big gub. Big goob, whatever you want to call the gooberment. Navy plans to build migrant tent cities for up to 47,000 in California, document reveals. Why? Why? That's one thing I do agree with Trump on. Send them back. Why do we need tent cities if we send them back? It's a game, folks. It's a game. And the reason why I say that, and the more and more I think about it, you know, and Evil makes the point, and he's totally right with this, that a lot of them are coming here because of the things that they can get. You know? And if you stop freely giving them those things, you know, it will be less enticing for them to come. So on that note, why hasn't Trump stopped it? Huh. Something to think about. Lawrence Wayne Key Democrat activist arrested for threatening to kill GOPers. Yes, you heard that right. You heard that right. This gentleman had threatened the children of a Republican, and I believe it was the children, and he is sitting in jail. I think it's a quick, small little article. Of course it's going to be a quick, small little article because it's about a Democrat. And it's the Washington Times, so go figure, right? There we go. Yes, another Democrat has gone off the deep end over political differences and threatened the life of a Republican, or to be more specific, a Republican's children, allegedly, of course. That's called First Amendment leftist style. Ask Representative Steve Scalise. He knows. The latest dim on Republican crime came courtesy of Lawrence Wayne Key, allegedly, of course, who now sits in jail facing federal charges for the communication of a threat to kidnap or injure a person, as the offense states. His target, WPTV, reported it was Republican Brian Mast's kids. Make that Republican Representative Brian Mast's kids his 3 young kids. And it was reportedly due to President Donald Trump's immigration policies. So, at least he's in jail, but why isn't Maxine Waters under the water? I mean, in jail? Why? I mean, come on. I think this is crazy. And the answer is, I can't answer that question because he's not big, right? He's not Maxine Waters, right? He's not, who was that other idiot that spoke out recently? He does movies, got a movie coming out. I can't remember, but he said some pretty stupid stuff too. Yeah, Peter Fonda. Yeah. Trader Fonda. I mean Peter Fonda. Yeah. Well, I just automatically, I hear the name, I think Trader. Why is that? Why would that be? I don't know. Long family history of being traders. Peter. But anyway, so here's the thing. That's the only reason why this guy is sitting behind bars right now. It's because he's not a Maxine Waters. He's not, any of these too big to jail, I guess, right? The only reason why he's been snagged. They need to go after Hollywood, and they need to go after all politicians equally. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Let's see. And I said when I tweeted this, I said MSM is really pushing this. This is not the same article I posted before. Okay? So, and the article is, almost a third of U.S. voters think a second civil war is coming soon. Okay? 31%. 31%. Now, 3%, if you didn't know, had decided that they wanted a revolution in the country. 3%. Okay? Back right when the Revolutionary War started. Now, I can't give you an accurate number because I don't know the answer for the Civil War. All right? But it was much less than 31%. Much less than 31% wanted to actually go to war with their fellow states. 31%. So, you judge for yourself where you think we're headed. I think it's pretty clear. And that's not fear porn. That's truth. And then we got this. Multiple fatalities reported in Maryland newsroom shooting. Now, last I knew, there wasn't enough details to be able to make any kind of calls on this or anything like that. 5 dead in Annapolis paper shooting. Gunman in custody. Of course, this guy's caught alive. Right? Let me see if there's anything else. I'll read it to you, and I'll know then if they're releasing anything with any more information at all. 5 people have been shot dead and several more injured by a gunman at the offices of the Capital Gazette, a newspaper, the Maryland capital of Annapolis. The shooter is in custody, police said. There are several people who have died, and Arundel County Executive Stephen Shua told reporters on Thursday afternoon. The shooter is in custody and is being interrogated. We do have fatalities and we do have serious injuries. Acting Police Chief Bill Crumpf said, adding later that there were 5 dead. Police is interviewing numerous witnesses as well as the suspect. Now, I will also tell you this. I don't know if it's going to be in the article. But apparently they were sending police out to the different newsrooms and stuff in New York City. So I will just throw that out there. I don't know if they had any particular type of intel that would warrant adding security at those locations in New York City, or if this was a typical fear porn kind of thing that they like to do to support this whole anti-gun, oh my God, be scared of everybody rhetoric that goes on. There were multiple reports from local media that at least 4 people have been shot. Officers reportedly arrived less than 2 minutes after the call. Now, they said 60 seconds. When I watched shortly before I started the show here, they did a press conference, and the guy said 60 seconds. They responded in 60 seconds. Now, how in the hell do you respond to a call in 60 seconds? I question that. I question that heavily. How do you respond to a call in 60 seconds? Let's see. A massive police presence remains on Bestgate Road in Annapolis, an office park across the street from the Annapolis Mall. A single shooter shot multiple people at my office, some of whom are dead, Gazette's crime reporter Phil Davis said on Twitter while waiting to be interviewed by police. There is nothing more terrifying than hearing multiple people get shot while you're under your desk and then hear the gunman reload. Anne Arundel Sheriff Ron Bateman told Fox News the attacker was in custody. Emergency scanner traffic spoke of 4 deceased. Witnesses told local media the attacker was armed with a shotgun. We do have injuries. We did have an active shooter situation, Lieutenant Ryan Frazier, spokesman for the Anne Arundel Police Department, told reporters earlier. 2 patients were transported to the Anne Arundel Medical Center, which was placed on lockdown for about an hour. They had with minor injuries that were not caused by gunshots, according to WJLA-TV. Following speculation that the shooting may have been motivated by a hostility for the media, police in Baltimore and New York City have stationed officers at newsrooms for protection. See, this is something ain't right here. The Baltimore Sun, which owns the Gazette, confirmed the police have visited their newsroom on Thursday afternoon. Annapolis is a city of some 40,000 residents on the shores of Chesapeake Bay and is the state capital of Maryland. So that's the information that we have so far coming in. Again, I don't know if they have some particular type of intel to indicate that this is that this is something due to stresses or being upset about the news media. Okay, it's interesting. That's why I'm waiting. I don't jump, and I'm not going to jump to say, oh well, I know this is what it is, or oh, this is a false flag, I know, or all the other junk that everybody else is running to do right now. Continually, we don't do, and you're not going to see me do. I do say that something sounds suspicious with all this, and I do say that with some certainty, because a 60-second response time, I am not buying it. Not buying it. Not buying it. Now, this time I can't point out the fact how fast everybody else was on the scene, like the BTFE or, the feds in general, because of the area they were in. Okay, so I can't point that out and say, well, that's kind of suspicious, because they were right there, essentially. So anyway, let me have a sip of coffee here. I wished that I had more information on this. I wished I knew his motive. Now, I will say this ahead of time. If we see a what is it that they call it when I call it bogus? It starts with an M. I think it starts with an M. It's a paper that somebody writes. Often they talk about doing it before they go on a mass shooting spree or something like that. What is that paper called? I think it starts with an M. I can't believe I'm so brain dead today. I can't think of the word. I can't. Let me look at the chat, because there's probably 5 of you going, look, idiot, this is what it is. Manifesto, actually. Thank you, Evil. Yes, a manifesto. If we hear a manifesto popping up, I would be extremely suspicious. Okay, I'm interested to see what comes out of this. I really am. And this could be what it looks like at the surface. At the surface, it could be somebody that's upset. I can't emphasize this anymore. I'm very interested to see what this turns out to be. Whether this guy is, if he's left-leaning or if he's right-leaning, or if it was politically motivated at all. I'm very interested in seeing this, because I think we're about to enter a new era in this country, and I think it's going to come on fast, and I think it's going to come on strong. And I think we are. I would agree with the 31% that they say the poll says. I would agree. I think we are standing right at the edge of civil war. And Prepper Nurse 1 did a video about it today. I haven't heard it yet. It is already out. We'll be playing this early on in the show. And I know he did a video yesterday about civil war. And you know what? I think we're there. I really, really do. The sad thing is, for one, that we're here to begin with. I mean, this is insane. This is insane that we've reached this point in this country. And there's an answer. There's an answer, and it's called individual liberty. Right? Where and when did we have to control every single thing about what every single person does in this country? We should have individual liberty. Meaning, as long as you're not doing anything to harm me or my loved ones, it's none of my damn business. And vice versa. See, we wouldn't be at each other's throats today if we did truly have that individual liberty. We absolutely would not. But for decades now, we have been mentally brainwashed into thinking that not only that we should be in everybody's business, but that we have a right to be in everybody's business. And it's insane. But I'm a lone voice here, speaking. And I can't change the world. All I can do is tell people they better be getting ready for it. And to repeat those very things that I said at the top of the show that my dad told me. Number one, better quit while you're ahead. And number two, you better watch what you wish for. It just may come true. You know, and I think, when I think a lot of things, when I think, you know, because, yeah, I think the best thing for this country would be an EMP. I really do. That's my feelings. Those are my thoughts. I own them. I think the best thing for this country, possibly the world, would be an EMP. Put us back in the Stone Age. So that people learn to work together and respect one another and appreciate one another. So other human beings aren't just throwaway like our cars and our coffee makers and our alarm clocks. So that other human beings, other lives have value. Maybe we could actually get to know one another a little more again. But when I think those thoughts, I hear that voice every single time. Watch what you wish for. It just may come true. And I think about it. I think long and hard about it. And I'm ready. Me, myself, my thoughts. I'm ready. I really, truly am. Not for a civil war. For us to be set back a little bit. For us to learn to be human again. I think it's extremely important. You know, I see a lot of things that I don't think a lot of people do. And the reason why is for the very reason I said, or the very thing I thanked at the beginning of the show, for feeling the pain. And that's why I thank God for feeling that pain. Because I don't want to ever become not human. I don't ever want to undervalue another human being because of a skin color or a nationality or because of a religion. Most of my life, I've been undervalued by my own family. So I know what it's like. I know what it's like. I do my best not to treat others that way. Don't say I always succeed. I'm not perfect. I don't even try to be perfect. But I do try to be human. Each and every day. Harder and harder. Every day. That's what I think I'm supposed to do. And until somebody shows me in the New Testament that Jesus told me to do anything else, then that's exactly what I'll do. Anyway, I'm going to close up the monologue on that. Again, Rogue Preparedness will be on at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Just a little over an hour, I guess, from now. And for those sticking around for the live show, you'll see that. For those that just watched the monologue, I will say thank you for just watching the monologue. As always, God bless you, we love you, and be one with your spirit.